Ladies and gentlemen, visionaries, dreamers, leaders, and beautiful people tuning in from around the world, from every corner of the world, it is my absolute honor and truly my privilege to introduce a woman whose work has changed leaders, shaped teams, rebuilt spirits, and restored lives. A woman who doesn't chase applause but shows impact, who understands the success without energy, without joy, without balance is merely survival, not life. A woman who has spent 28 years guiding CEOs, founders, high achieving businesswomen, and leadership teams through the most overlooked yet most powerful dimension of performance energy. From Wellington to the world, she has become a lighthouse for leaders who have forgotten how to breathe, a guide for those drowning in pressure, and a gentle reminder that behind every title is a human being who deserves harmony, clarity, and vitality. She is the founder of the Energy Architect, a business coach, a mentor, a course creator, a keynote speaker, a power lifter, a powerhouse, and above all, a heart led human being who shows up with warmth, compassion, and wisdom every single day. When leaders lose their spark, and she helps them reignite. When businesses are drowning in chaos, she brings strategy and calm. When people forget who they are, she brings them back home to themselves. Please help me welcome with admiration, respect, and so much gratitude the incomparable, the inspiring, and the deeply empowering Heather Hutchins. Hi, Heather. How are you today?
Hello, Shaq, and thank you for that. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. The energy is pretty high in my little office, I have to say. It's just, yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to share energy and what energy is and why time management is a myth. There is so much. I'm just looking forward to our time together. So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome, Heather. So, you know, to be very honest with you, I am pretty much excited for this new subject, energy. And to be very honest, I have seen your podcast before, and most of the people get confused. What is energy? Is it electric and gas, or is it human energy? But but this is human energy. So, Heather, we'll start the session. But before that, I would wanna introduce myself as well, what I do, and who I am. Here at the SHAQ Podcast, I stand for one thing: real transformation. We bring humans with heart, leaders with integrity, and voices that deserve to be heard. We don't glorify burnout. We don't celebrate fake success. We don't chase numbers. We chase truth, healing, awareness, and elevation. This platform exists to remind you that you are more than your workload, more than your deadlines, more than your expectations. You're a human being with energy, purpose, and a light. And Heather embodies exactly that. So, Heather, before we start the session, as I usually do in my podcast, I would ask my special guest, and you are the most special of them all, how is the weather outside for you?
The weather in Wellington, New Zealand, we are of course in spring, heading towards summer, but in New Zealand it is so tiny and so narrow. We can have four seasons in one day. It's about 21 degrees out there at the moment, and there's no wind. We are known as Windy Wellington, but there's no wind today. So that's a pretty good start.
Okay, well, that's great. That's a good weather, and it's a great day to be on the SHAQ podcast. And to
Definitely,
all,
yes.
yes, exactly. And the energy is high. I'm trying to build up my energy. So, energy is very high with me. I'm not a power lifter like you. Just to let my audience know that Heather is not only a business coach, but also a power lifter as well. So, I'm trying to match up her pace with energy, but I'll try my best. and I apologize if I'm not able to. But Heather is the most energetic person in this room right now. So, before moving forward to all my audience, wherever you are tuning in from, just let us know if you're able to hear us or not. If you've got any questions about energy, and if you think that uh, making a work life balance is important, and to slow down, calm down is important, just let us know and ask all the questions to Heather in the comments, and she would be happy to answer them all. So, Heather, let's start the session, shall we?
Let's start.
Okay. So, Heather, I would first want to know what is your journey, what is your work, how it all started, and how you are helping people change, and how you're helping people change their perspective of work, how you're trying to help them, feel their energy. So, just let us know about your journey.
That's a great question, actually, Shark. My journey started about 10 years ago. So I've been business coaching now for 27, I keep losing count, 28 years, mainly in strategic planning. And so a lot of my clients, all I heard was, I'm tired, there's not enough time in the day, I don't know what to cook the family when I get home. And I suddenly realized that that's what I was going through as well. I was literally exhausted, as women. And now let's face it, a lot of our men, of course, are working from home, they're stay-home dads, etc. So they're going through it as well, as we wear these many hats and we literally just run out of time. And it was always about, I'm running out of time, I don't have time. And so when I realized that this was happening to me, I suddenly thought something needs to change. So I did a little bit of research and I came across a book that was Manage Your Energy, Not Your Time. And that was the big aha moment for me. And so I literally stepped aside from my business for about 5 months, and I got right into I'm not a science person, and I'm a big picture person, but I started to understand what energy was all about and how could we change the way that we worked, and how do we use our energy so that we're more productive in less time. And I think the biggest aha moment hit me when I was training one day with my powerlifting coach. And we always have 3-minute gaps between our sessions. And we were sitting there having a 3-minute gap, and I went, oh my goodness, this is exactly what we need to be doing at work as well. And so, the whole thing started to form for me, and I started to see it. I'm working in this space and I just love it, and I get wonderful results for people, and we just have fun because we're using our energy. We're not looking at the clock. In fact, I don't wear a watch at all. So my time doesn't manage my world at all. So that's how I started. It was just by listening to what people were telling me.
Awesome. Awesome. So it all started with a book, and you started helping people. And now it's 26 years, as you've said, that
Yes,
you're,
yes.
you're helping people, coaching them, mentoring them to discover their energy
Mm.
and to maintain work-life balance. Do you think that people are silently burning out from inside in the corporates right now?
Yes, I do. The number of people that I've spoken to, we've went from the pandemic where we were all working from home, and that was really nice. And then we all started to come back to work in dribs and drabs, and we had lots of organisations saying you must come back full time. A lot of our corporates still think that we work from 9 to 5, flat line, 9 to 5. That's how I was probably brought up to start work. I'm not sure whether you were. What they don't realise is that's not how our bodies work. Our bodies work in 90 to 120 rhythms. So our bodies work like this. That's how we need to be working, not from 9 to 5. So, stop watching the clock, work with the body. Time is finite, energy is rechargeable.
Okay. Just recently in the news, I would not take the name of the person, but a person of a very big corporate. He's the CEO and chairman. He said that people should be working around 90 hours a week. Usually it is 45 hours a week in the US that we work. 8 hours per day, but the person said 70 to 90 hours should be we should be working, and we should be grateful that we are having jobs. What do you have to say about this statement?
Oh, I would love to get in front of him. So definitely not. You just cannot work like that. As soon as you get tired, or you're living off caffeine, you're living off sugar, and you start pushing through because you're pushing through your energy, mistakes get made, productivity lowers. When it just I can't explain it. You've blown me away with that statement. Productivity will certainly crash if you're trying to push through your energy rhythms. Your body's not made to do that. Your body has to rest and recharge. And when we come through, and I work in 120, so I will work 120, and then I will have a dip for about 20 minutes. During that dip, I will get up, I walk away from my computer, I don't look at it, I don't touch my phone, because then if I do that, my poor old brain's going, oh, I'm on Facebook, I'm over here doing this. And then all of a sudden I'm back to work. The brain doesn't get a chance to recharge and rest. So my phone is nowhere near me. And I don't, when I have my rests, I just get up and walk away. And it's okay to do that. And big corporates don't understand that. They think you're lazy. They think that you don't want to work because they're wanting you to work from 9 to 5, not with your natural energy rhythms where you will be more productive.
Exactly. I totally agree with your points you made. I totally agree with you. Also, just wanted to ask you one more thing to the same context of the same question. Um, say it also deteriorates your health as well, right? The health
Yes.
part.
Yep.
Say loss of sleep. Uh, it also affects our stamina.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to say about that part?
Yep. Totally agree. I'm 76 and I love what I do, and I still work and I still have fun. I love being my grandchildren, but there are other energies that I work with. So it's not just about our rhythms. We have our physical energy, we have our emotional energy, we have our mental energy, and we have our spiritual energy, and that's all part of us working with our rhythms. They're called our trade-in rhythms, and it's not woohoo. In 1950 there was a scientist who started working with our old trade-in rhythms, helping us to understand. And he was the scientist that also did the REM sleep. So it is definitely not woohoo. It works if we understand how we work with our rhythms and how the whole team can work with our rhythms.
Okay, let's news to me. Never knew such detail about it before. I'm trying to understand this new subject, and it's a very, very interesting subject
Mm.
that we have to be always be careful about how we work and how much we work, and we have to slow down. We have to rest. So let's explore it further. Just wanted to just I just remembered one more thing. Just wanted to put it across to you. There was a person in a big tech, again, not taking name, but I'll take the name. What will happen? I think he was an engineer in a very big software company. He was found unconscious, later declared dead, working in that cubicle. There was one more person who was going through a burnout, a new intern, and she was glorified for doing the work beyond her office hours, beyond her, in her home as well, taking that work to her home and working. Uh, I wouldn't say 24/7, but working more than 18 hours a day. To that context, I have my question number one. So, what is your honest take on the glorified hustle culture? Why it is so dangerous for human energy?
Wow, and I thought that was a really great question. And I'm going to put this in my book, if you don't mind. So my honest take, on the hustle culture. It looks impressive on the surface, but it completely ignores how business energy actually works. So we're not designed to operate like machines, are we? We don't run at full speed 24 hours a day. Yeah, we just can't do that. That's not our gig. Our bodies work in rhythms, natural cycles of focus, recovery, and renewal, which is, we've done a lot of talking about that. So when workplace glorify constant activity, long hours, and always being on, they're essentially asking people to override their own biology, which is what's happened in the, the little story that you've told us. And yes, it does damage people. So, and it's not sudden and it's not dramatic. It's just a drip by drip. So focus gets foggy, of course. Creativity drops. Decision-making gets harder. And eventually you're left with leaders who are technically, really, overriding their own way of wanting to work. So they're mentally and emotionally running on fumes. They've just run out of energy, completely drained. So what I've always found interesting, and with some of the stories and some of the studies that I've done, is when people work with their energy instead of against it, productivity doesn't go down, it actually goes up. You get clearer thinking, better performance, and a whole lot less burnout. So, I guess let's have a little example for you. Look at the 3 p.m. slump. We all go through it. We all sort of go, oh, I'm tired, it's 3 p.m., whatever happens. All the jokes. But that dip isn't laziness. It's your ultradian trough. It's a natural drop in energy after about your 90 to 120 minutes of focused work. So most people will push through. We've talked about that. They'll have coffees, they'll have sugar, or they will just sheer force their way through. That's where mistakes happen and performance will actually drop. So when we as leaders step back and take 5, 10, 50 minutes reset, instead of pushing through, our focus rebounds, our clarity actually comes back, and our quality of work improves.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's good to know. I mean, I'm just trying to make notes in my mind because this is a new subject, and
Yeah.
I am trying to understand it very carefully because we were not allowed. I would say I am totally amazed that in the corporates, I've been a part of the corporate before, and they never allowed us to know all these stuff. They only said that if you are working hard, be grateful for the job you have got anywhere in the world. I'm talking about not only in the US, anywhere in the world. I am an Indian. Of an Indian origin, so anywhere in the world, what they do is big corporates. What they do, they glorify. If you're working beyond hours, that is a hardworking person. But they does not, or they wantedly never wanted us to know about these details about our health, about our burnouts, and things like that. So this is the first time I'm hearing all of this, and I feel very fortunate to because I am a medium now, letting the world know about this. There are many people who doesn't know how to take care of themselves. And thank you so much, Heather, for explaining that in detail. Most of the people does not know about this, but now they will get to know that resting and recharging is important too, to avoid burnout, to avoid
Yeah.
health problems.
Very much so. Burnout happens when we don't rest and recharge. Burnout happens when we push, push, push. So that's what burnout's about. So as soon as we start resting and understanding how our bodies work, what is our rhythm? Now, we talked a little bit about my rhythm. I'm an early morning person. I'm a morning lark. And I knew that 4:30, my energy was going to be really quite flat. So I shuffled away and I had a wee sleep this afternoon just to get my energy up. Because normally by 3:30, my office is closed because I've been going since 5 o'clock. But my husband is a night owl. And so he will come on and he starts work 11:30, 12 o'clock. And he'll work till 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning. And so you will have people like that in your environment. You will work with people who have different, your energy is your own fingerprint. And so you will have people, and you will know them, the people that have to start work at 9 o'clock, and they wander around and they have a coffee and they annoy you and they don't seem to be doing any work. And you think they're playing around and they're being lazy. Actually, they're not. They don't want to be there. Their time doesn't happen. Their rhythms don't happen until the afternoon. They're actually in an energy dip when they just want to look at their emails. That's just not their time to be doing what we call high peak work. So you have high peak work, and then you drop down into a dip where you just look after the things that don't need your energy, don't need your full focus. And you will know people like that probably around you that are night people or night owls, and you'll have some that are morning or morning larks, if that helps.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And also, just to let my audience know, health is more important than wealth. You can always earn money, but if health is lost, then everything is lost. So be mindful and be careful about your health, and listen to the session. If you've got any questions, just ask questions. If you've got any doubts regarding this, ask your doubts. This is a new chapter, this is a new subject. Try to understand this, because it is going to be beneficial for you in the long run. People who are leaders, women entrepreneurs, women leaders, women business leaders, this session is for you guys. So please make use of this opportunity. And I've also already requested Heather that this session is going to be just the superficial layer of what we are discussing right now. We are going to dive deep in the sequel of the session in the upcoming days. And I've requested Heather for that. And she has been very kind and generous to accept my invitation once again, where we dive even deeper into the core of the problem. Now we are just going to introduce you, give you an introduction, what is energy and how you should use it for the best of your performance, for performing at your best. So Heather, before moving forward, so you say that resting, recharging is going to affect our overall performance, be it in work or be it in our personal lives. So just a quick a word on that from you.
Yeah, definitely. So, if you're resting and recharging, the productivity, and especially if you're a CEO or general manager, you'll find that the productivity and the profitability of you and your team will go up. If you've allowed your team to work with their rhythms, by the time that they've finished and they've closed and they've walked away from their desk for the day, they still have the energy to play with the family. How many times and I hear it all the time, I got home, I was so tired and I just collapsed in front of the TV. And to be honest, I've done it. I'm going, I'm out of here. I don't, yeah. So when you work with your energy, you don't get that. You do feel recharged. You get home and you've got time to play with the children. You've got time to, go for a walk with your partner. You've got time to cook dinner instead of just collapsing in front of the TV in utter exhaustion. So when you work with your energy at work and at home, the two combine to just flow. Energy is about flow. And we flow with our energy. Now, you will know, and how do I explain it? When you feel like you're at work or you're at home and you feel like you're dragging your feet through mud, you know that your energy has hit the dip. You have done your focus,
Exactly.
your peak, and you've come out of that and you've hit the dip. So when you feel like you're dragging your feet through mud, stop, walk away. I might have an hour and a half lunch. I'll go for a walk. I'll get outside. I don't sit and make myself work because I'm not being productive at all. So just when you're dragging your feet, drop everything and go for it. And how many times do you sit in front of your computer and all of a sudden you wake up because you've had a little a nana nap, your head's dropped. Get up and walk away. That's your energy collapsing on you.
Awesome. Awesome. I totally agree with that. And thank you so much for explaining that in such detail. Before moving forward, just wanted to let my audience know, please go ahead and follow SHAQ Podcast and YouTube,
Mhm.
Instagram, X, and other social media platforms like Twitch and Threads. I'm going to put the link of all my social media platforms after the session under this podcast. So you can go ahead and follow me for more interesting updates about upcoming podcasts and more interesting subjects like energy and more interesting and special guests like Heather. So please go ahead and do that, and also follow Heather on her through her LinkedIn profile. The best way to reach Heather would be through the LinkedIn profile through her
Yes.
DMs, and she would be happy to answer all your questions.
Mm.
Please
Look,
go
I
ahead.
totally agree because our energy is individual. It really is individual, and so happy to answer any questions. If you are a general manager or you're leading a team, how do we work with our team when we all have different energies? How do we do that? And I'm happy to work with people through that. Um, People laugh at me when I say to them, "It's no good having an 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock meeting. That doesn't work." Because you've got your morning people will turn up, but your afternoon people will just turn up, and that's the last place they want to be. They'll turn up with their coffee and they'll switch off within 20 minutes. So if you're having a morning meeting, then only have it for 20 minutes. The best time to have a meeting is at 11:30, because by then your morning people will be coming out of a peak and they're coming down into a trough, into a dip, and your afternoon nighttime people will just be taking off. So just think about those
Awesome.
little tips.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for explaining that in detail, Heather. Heather, before moving forward, just wanted to let you know that I know that this is a low energy time for you in the evening, but it's a high energy time for me in the morning. But I
Love
just
it.
want I just wanted to let you know that this session is going to go beyond 60 minutes. Do I, yeah, do I have your permission to move
You
forward?
do. I've had my nana nap. It's all right.
I've got all the energy in the morning right now.
I love it.
You know, on the lighter note, just wanted to take your kind permission because I'm not gonna let you go. So, you know, uh, I want to explore this subject seriously because I've been a
Okay.
part of corporate and nobody told me about this before. And I've been a victim of this culture
Mm,
before, working 18 hours a day, 22 hours a day, sleeping in the office, and going to the dormitory and sleeping in the office itself, getting recharged, washing my face, again to work. I've done that, and I've spoiled my health in the long run. I had problems with my digestions. I've had
mm,
problems with me concentrating on things. I've had that scar for a very long time. Before I started my own business, it was a very problematic situation for me. There were some kind people who have helped me, but because it is glorified, not only it is it is pushed into the minds of people who are working the corporates that you have to work and work
mm,
and work until you die, but it's
mm,
also glorified that this person is a hardworking person if he's working around the clock, but it's
mm.
not correct to do that. So I want to know about more about this subject.
Subject, right. So, and you're right. It's called energy depletion. And if you think about all of the things that deplete your energy, and there is a whole list of them, from your time at work. What at work depletes your energy? What is it? And is it something that perhaps you could work differently with? Or do you do it? It's a bit like, eat the frog, eat the ugliest frog first. Do you do that task that depletes your energy? Do you set that up in the morning when you're in peak, when you're really at peak level? Look at the other things that deplete your energy. It might be a colleague at work, and as much as we love them, as soon as they come near us, we just feel the weight come down. So there will be a number of factors that will deplete your energy. And sit down and write down all of the things that deplete your energy, and then try and find a way that you can make it more productive, that you can fit it in, whether it's done during your high peak time, or perhaps it's done when your energy is low and you don't need to spend so much time on it. But you will have about 9 or 10 things that will deplete your energy. It could be a client, it could be a workmate, it could be your boss, it could be a dear friend who rings you up and you look at the phone and you go, uh-oh, and you have to decide whether you're going to answer it or not, because that's how you're feeling at the moment. So energy depletion will certainly in the workplace will lower productivity and profitability. So, and that's when you will start making mistakes. We can't multitask. That's another one. That's a big one for depleting energy, is multitasking. Can't do it. Your poor old brain just goes from here to here to here. So multitasking will just deplete your energy. Trying to keep up with all of with AI, of everything that everybody's scrolling, will deplete your energy. So you need to find ways to work with it, to stop it, or just, take it away from your peak time. Emails can deplete energy. So there are a number of things that we need to look at when it comes to energy depletion, and how do we make it work for us.
And we have to stop depleting our energies and also try to preserve it. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. Yeah. And you'll do that by taking the breaks, Shaq. Just take those breaks. It's so important. Your body will only work. When I first started working with my energy, I only did 60 minutes. And then I would probably get up and walk away for about 10 minutes. 10-minute breaks from your desk will literally recharge your energy. Just get up and walk away. Now I work for, either 90 to 120, but I'll step away for 20 minutes plus to get my energy back. And it's the same when you're switching between tasks. You might be in your high peak, but step away for 5 or 10 minutes before you start a new task, which gives your brain time to just rest. It's busy. It's taking on all this stuff, and you're switching from one to the other. And you will just literally deplete your energy when you do that.
Awesome. I totally agree with that point. And thank you so much for explaining that in detail. Moving forward with our next question, which is question number 2 for you.
We haven't got that.
I would say we have just covered question. But I've had around 10 questions for you, and we are 30 minutes and question number 2. So don't worry about it. We are going to get back, and if we are having some more questions, we will try to cover as many as possible, like 2 to 3 questions now, or at least 2 questions in the span of next 30 minutes. So, we are going to get back. And also, what we have promised our audience is we are going to deep dive in the next session. So this is just a superficial introduction of energy and how we preserve it. So,
that's really important, is to understand even what it is before we can dive deep, for sure.
Okay. So the next question which I have for you is, it is based on your work and your career. The question is, you have spent decades teaching leaders about ultra-dense rhythms. How can understanding our natural energy cycles change our lives?
That's a really good question. If you work with your natural energy, if you can work in those cycles, I think, you will find that, as I said, you'll have more freedom. You'll have more time. You can do probably what you need to be doing. If you take care of your physical energy, do you go for a walk? Do you go for a run? Do you go to the gym? So take care of your physical energy. So that's really important. It's part of our energy system. It's the same with our emotional energy. Emotional energy can drain us when we let the subconscious mind take over. It will literally drain us. So take care of your emotional energy. And our mental energy, of course, If we get that right, stop the burnout, all of those things, if we can take care of those things just by working differently. We just have to learn to work differently and work with our energy, and our spiritual energy. That's not a religious, people will see spiritual energy as at all different levels. For me, it's really around doing yoga. That helps me take care. It actually also takes care of the pain after I've been out training. But it just takes care of my spiritual energy. So if you get your energy right at work, and if you get your energy right at home, it really does change the way that you flow with your family, with your work colleagues, with your work, and you'll be more, as I say, more productive, both home and in the workforce. And if you run your own business, that will just change the way you work.
Awesome. Exactly. It's going to not only it's going to improve our performance, but also it's going to improve our personal lives as well. To be very honest with you, I does not have the correct statistics right now. Does not have the correct numbers. But what I do, see, to be very honest, as a podcaster, I'm also a journalist myself. I work as a journalist. I try to gather news from the business world, from people of, you know, uh, uh, C-suite executives, high-profile people. I gather all the informations from business, technology, on everything. So what I heard and what I read was, uh, not preserving our energies also has a very adverse effect on our personal lives, on our marriages, on our relationship with kids. Most of the time, uh, the number one cause for separations, divorce, and many other things is we not preserving our energy. We not giving the kind of attention or time to our family members, which results into these kind of problems later on. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, health and wellness is very much a big part of your energy rhythms. And we have a lot of organizations these days are working in that health and wellness space, but they haven't thought about the energy that goes into health and wellness. If they just change the way they work, the health and
Exactly.
wellness of their team will change quite dramatically. So health and wellness is part of us working with our ultradian rhythms. It's part of working with our energy. It's part of understanding what our energy even is. Are you that morning person? Are you that night person? So health and wellness is a big part of working with our energy in our work environment and our home environment.
Exactly. And also, Heather, before moving forward, I just have two more questions before we wrap up this session. But before moving forward, I just want to take your quote or your perspective on people working in night shifts. How do you suggest these people preserving their energies? Because working night shifts, and most people do, in
Mm,
different countries like in India, where outsourcing happens, in Philippines and other parts of the world, they try to match up to US times, so they work in night shifts. Also in the US, people who are students, they work, say, uh, uh, there are some jobs which require a person to be in the night shift. So what
mm.
is your take on the night shift part? What do you have to say about people working in night shifts?
That's really vicious on our energy. If they're working 4 nights on and 2 nights off, we have to really talk to those people, manage their energy. There's a lot of questions. That's some of that in-depth stuff that we could be talking about next time. So when we're working with people who work those night shifts and have those odd days off, it just kills their vitality. Sure, they might get paid good money for it, but it kills their energy, kills their vitality, because their energy is just it's all over the place. There is no rhythm. And so I've got a couple of people here I work with who are night shift workers. And so we have spent, I guess, 3 or 4 months I have with both of them, just sitting down and looking at their energy, looking at what it's like at nighttime, looking how they are in the daytime, and looking how we can help them to work better with their rhythms when they're working at nighttime and also when they come home. Because that sleep during the daytime is always difficult. So
Exactly.
it's a really great question.
I've asked that question because I have been a part of the night shifts before, and I was required because I was into software development, and I'm a software guy. So I was into production support and software guy, and I had to provide support to the big computers all over the US. And I was a part of the night shifts before, and it literally killed me.
Mm,
We just
yeah.
wanted to know, out of curiosity, this is not part of the questions, but because it has happened with me personally, I wanted to ask you about the night shifts. And I must tell you that it literally killed me. And I was continuously doing night shifts for as long as 8 months, a year
Too
as
long.
well.
Too long.
That too long, and I need, and nobody from my managerial teams, nobody from my supervisors said that this is not going to work out. You're taking a toll on your health. They just
Mm,
wanted their targets to be met and their SLAs to be met.
mm,
And I was working, and very very late in my life I realized that it's taking a high toll on my health, and that is where I stopped.
mm.
And I'm very fortunate to have discovered a person with your talent and caliber, and to discuss this topic. This is a very important topic to discuss this topic. I feel very fortunate that I am learning from you about this, and also
Yeah.
I'm becoming a medium for others who wants to learn about this new
Yeah.
topic. And for sure I'm going to make sure, which I am very good at, video editing and everything. I'm going to make sure that your message reaches to every corner of the globe, at least
Thank
to the
you.
English speaking world, because our medium is English, but I
Mm,
also have got other talents too. I can translate
mm.
into uh, 48 other languages, whatever we are
Wow.
having.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
we've got
Yep.
AI. I'm a software guy as well. So
Mm. So, yeah, one of my missions is to help people understand that there is another way of working and show them and guide them. How do we do that? What do we need to do? What is my energy? How do I find out what it is? How do I work with it? And if you've got a team, and I get it, if you've got 40 people working with you, and I can just see some CEs and general managers scratching their heads, how do I juggle all these people? How do I do that? We've got tasks over here that need to be done. How do we work and juggle that? There are ways to do that, and we need to try and find solutions for that.
exactly.
Mm.
We most of the time what happens is people don't reach out for help. That is the main problem here. They does not want to recognize that they are in a problem.
Mm.
There is a problem. They does not want to recognize the problem. They does not want to accept that there is a problem, and also in the end they does not want to reach out for help. What do you have to say about what is the message you have for these kind of people who doesn't want to reach out for help? Is asking for help a bad thing, or is it showing that they are uh, 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 you know they, their ego is getting hurt because they are asking for help? So
Yeah.
what is the message for these kind of people you have?
Yeah. So a lot of people that I work with, they don't even know, of course, until I start talking to them about their energy, and the energy levels of their staff. Some people will say to me, "That's not going to work for me. Don't be silly, Heather. That doesn't work." And so then I very quietly I lower my energy levels, because you can imagine, I lower my energy levels and very quietly talk to them. And then we start working together, and we actually just work with that one person if it's a general manager or CE, and we get their energy levels right, and we work with them so that they can show the rest of the team how to work. And there are people who just don't want to know. They don't want to know because they think it's woo woo. They don't realize that it's science backed. They don't want to know because it's going to upset their plans and it's all too hard to change the team. Whereas those who want to know, those who are looking at health and wellness of their team, looking at another way of working so that everybody is being more profitable, more productive, more happier in their jobs, and you retain the staff. That's the key part. We all know that, when we have to retrain staff, it can cost a company a lot of money. So when you help everybody understand their energy rhythms and you accept that this is another way of working, then the whole dynamics of your workforce will change. Sure, it takes time and a lot of it's mindset there as well, but it does work.
Exactly. And also, if they are, say people who does not want to reach out for help, do they really don't recognize the problem, or do they think that it hurts their ego to reach out for help?
Yeah.
Is asking for help is a bad thing?
Yeah. So no, being a business coach, everybody needs, in my head, everybody needs a business coach. Yeah, I've got a business coach. I've had 2 or 3 business coaches in my whole time of business coaching. I have a powerlifting coach. Couldn't do it without a coach. So reaching out and asking for help, to have someone walk beside you that you can brainstorm with, that you can have fun with, but to change the dynamics of the way you work is, why wouldn't you? It's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Some people, yes, it's an ego thing. For some business people, they think they should know everything, but we don't. There's too much in this business world happening around us. We can't know everything. So to reach out and say, hey, I need help, or how do I make this work for me? How do I make it work for my business? How do I make it work for my team and my family? It's just, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Speaking of which, I just wanted to let my audience know, Heather, I've just got 2 more questions and we'll wrap up the session. But before that, quickly, just wanted to let my audience know, asking for help is not a bad idea. It's not a bad thing. Just ask for help, because you need someone in your corner who is going to help you, who's going to cheer for you, who's going to push you forward. Just going to let you know a small story. If you have read history, there is a novel, War of the Three Kingdoms, or popularly known as Romance of the Three Kingdoms. In this novel, you will find a character, Liu Bi, who is originally of a royal descent, but he was a shoe sandler. Say he used to sew shoes for people for a living, because unfortunately he was left out of that royal family, and he grew up in poverty, but he had that royal bloodline. Eventually he got help, and he made 2 brothers, Zhang Fi and Guan Yu. And these 3 people wanted a kingdom for themselves. So they carried on and on and on. They tried, but they never had seen any success until they had the help of Kong Ming. He was a business coach for them, for their bold aspiration. He was a business coach. He was a coach for them to guide them in the right direction. And guess what? Liu Bi became the greatest king of that era. He established the kingdom of Shu Han. And this is the
Wow.
power of coaching. Kong Ming, his name was Chu Ko Liang. If you read that novel, the person is Chu Ko Liang, who is a master in the art of war, and he guided Liu Bi to greatness. So that is the power of a coach, a person who knows how to guide you, who's going to help you achieve your goals, who is going to achieve you become successful and wealthy. Say with success and health, you will become healthy eventually. So that is the power of coach. Just wanted to, I just wanted to. I'm speaking to those people who say that is not needed coach, who just wanted to give a short example from this story.
Oh, excuse me. I'm just getting over the flu. So, dear me. Way we go.
Okay. So just wanted to let those people know that coach is very important. A business coach or a mentor or cheerleader in your corner who is going to make you. So, Heather, uh, before moving forward, just wanted to understand if you are feeling all right.
I am. I've just got a cough.
Oh,
I'm fine. Yeah. Just, I've just got over the flu. You know, that change in spring weather? Ugh. Yeah.
okay.
But my energy's
Okay.
still here. Don't worry. Might lose the voice, but the energy's still here.
Okay. That's great. That's great, Heather. Uh, uh, so my second last question would be quickly. What is the biggest misconception people have about productivity and performance?
Sorry, about what?
Productivity and performance. What is the biggest misconception?
About performance?
And productivity.
Oh, productivity and performance. Wow. That's a good one. I think people think that if we just keep pushing through, you know, we will be more productive. Our performance will be the same. In fact, people think that the more we push through, the more we understand, our performance goes up.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, it doesn't. So the more you push through, your productivity goes down and your performance will literally hit rock bottom. So productivity and performance and profitability, when it comes to understanding and working with your energy, are all in alignment. Because if you are pushing through, if you are, you know, you just say to yourself, we've all done it. I've got this. I'm just going to spend an extra half an hour on this, you know, because we have to get it finished. That's when you find that you make mistakes. So straight away, your productivity has just gone out the door. Your profitability has just raced away with it.
Yeah.
And your performance, you start getting angry with yourself because you didn't finish the task successfully. If you had stopped and had a rest, your productivity and your creativity would have gone up. And along with that, your profitability will also have gone up. And you'll be feeling good about yourself because you've achieved what you set out to do, because you took the time to take the break.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you. And before we wrap up the question, the last and final question uh, I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up with the words. Before we wrap up the session, the last and final question which I have, what is one message you want to give to the world right now about energy?
About energy. I think for me, it is recognize it, understand it. You already have it. Your body already is working with its energy. You just have to understand what that energy is and when are your peaks and when are your dips and how do you work with it. Because time is irrelevant. You know, if you think about time, you cannot stop it. You can't fast forward it. But your energy you can recharge. Always recharge. Rest, recover, recharge. And so for me, it's if I want to tell the world about energy, it's understand you and your body and your energy and how does it work so that you are healthy, a little bit wiser about how you work your day and spend some more time with your family, but understand how your energy works in your body. And as I've said, it's your own fingerprint. No one else has your energy. No one else is like you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Heather, for explaining that in detail. It was a it was a pleasure talking with you and also getting to know about so much on energy. It's a new subject for everybody to understand, and we are just getting started. And I request you for one more session in the coming days, whenever it is feasible, and we'll discuss even more detail about this session. What do
Mm.
you have to say about that?
Yeah. I think that would be an excellent idea. I mean, I'd love to do that because we've only just it's just sort of touched the surface of what energy is about, and there is just so much to share.
To all my audience, if you've got any questions,
Mm.
you can reach out directly to Heather. As I've already said, that LinkedIn DMs are the best way to reach Heather. Heather works globally with teams, organizations, with C-suite executives, entrepreneurs, new founders, especially women entrepreneurs. Am I
Mm.
right, Heather?
Yes,
So,
that's right. Yes.
and we are going to explore each and everything about energy, and we are going to understand more about Heather's work, how she help new founders,
Mm.
especially women entrepreneurs, how she helped them preserve energy and make them perform at their best. So we are going to explore more in the next session. So, Heather, thank you for your wisdom, your presence, and your heart today. You didn't just speak. You lifted us, you guided us, you reminded every
Mm.
person watching that energy is not a luxury. It is life. To everyone listening today, take this episode with you. Let it settle in your heart. Let it slow you down. Let it breathe new life into your routine. At least for me, I'm going to take this episode and I'm going to replay it and watch it again and again, and improve my performance. I'm a business owner too, so I needed this. I needed this for sure. And remember, your energy is your power. Protect
Yes.
it fiercely, honor it deeply, and lead with it courageously. This is the SHAQ Podcast, where we rise together, where we heal together, and we lead with heart. Thank you, Heather, and thank you to our incredible global audience. Until next time, stay kind, stay grounded, and stay energized. Much love.
Thank you.